So before we get started here, I wanted to toss out a disclaimer. And that is, this video is going to have a pretty heavy dose of sarcasm. So if that's not your thing, just go ahead and leave me an angry comment right now. You know, I've got my Kestrel BS meter here ready, so I'm safe. I'm going to monitor the level of, nonsense that's going on here. But if you're sensitive to that kind of content, this might not be for you, but I'd appreciate you watching. If any of you all out there are NRL 22 shooters or NRL 22X shooters, you know that, well, in about 6 weeks from now, end of May, I don't know how far it is, a little while, the national match is going to happen up in Nebraska, and I get to go this year, so I'm super excited about that, and I've started to prepare. And mostly that involves having these, anxiety-fueled dreams at night where I can't get a magazine loaded, or my pants don't fit, or for some reason my teeth all fell out. What that has to do with competition, I don't know, but guy just doesn't sleep a whole lot these days. So, preparation's going just great. But beyond that, there's a handful of things that I'm definitely not doing to prepare, and I've got some pretty good reasons behind that. So this week's top 10 list is top 10 reasons why you shouldn't be dry firing in preparation. And I know that sounds a little strange, but I got some good ones, so bear with me here. Very first one is, if you go on the internets, particularly Facebook, and you punch in any question related to dry firing your gun, you're going to hear right away that you shouldn't do it because you will absolutely, certainly, without a doubt, break your gun. And there is no way that any manufacturer out there is going to help you fix a broken firing pin. If you've been dry firing your gun, you are out of luck. And in fact, somebody's grandpa's great uncle heard about that happening one time, and it's going to happen to you. So don't dry fire, because you will break your gun and then you are out of luck. And a person could take a little bit of precaution there and invest in some of those snap cap things that are meant for dry firing, but boy howdy, those are expensive. And for rimfire guns like this, somebody told me to go buy a box of these drywall anchors and down at the Home Depots or wherever, and I did that, and I got like 100 of them, and that cost about as much as a slice of pizza at Casey's. And ugh, man, my budget, I don't know if I can afford those things. So start saving up if you need the old snap caps, because they're not free. Well, they might be. A fella could just use some once fired brass, but I'll be darned if that's not hard to find these days too. So don't dry fire. And it's just not safe. If you get on the old, again, internets or turn on the TV, you're gonna have people tell you that these guns are dangerous. So don't be playing with your gun, even though you've double, triple, quadruple checked that it's unloaded and you're an adult that knows how to handle these things. It's not safe. Stop messing around with your gun. And, it's boring. There's nothing to look out there when you're shooting in your basement. It's not like there's companies out there that specialize in making really cool little caps that go on your scopes so you can, adjust your focal length and come up with these really cool screensavers you put on your computer or printouts of targets or whatever. That stuff's available, but that's boring. Who wants to do that? You got to be outside blasting away. Nothing fun about doing it in your house. On that note, if you're into shooting, you know that half the battle, or, you know, most of the reason you go to matches is so you can whip out the old camera phone and you can get some pictures. Because if it's not on the Instagram or the Facebook, what was the point of doing it? And nobody wants to see me pointing my gun at a wall in my basement. That doesn't make for good social media, so don't worry about doing it. And I'm sure I'm just like all the rest of you guys out there, that I've spent the last 6 months or so just panic buying every bit of ammo that I can at just absolutely ridiculous prices, you know, knowing that this is the end of the ammo and it's never coming back and prices are always going to be as high, so I gotta have everything I can find right now. What am I going to do with all that ammo? If I'm dry firing, it's just sitting there and it's not doing anything, so I need to get out there and shoot up all that ridiculously priced ammo that I bought. Another thing is this is too sterile of an environment. If I'm dry firing, I'm not making noise and clouds of smoke, and I'm not busting up TVs and making garbage all over in a, you know, wherever my shooting spot is. Just dry firing's just too clean. I need to break stuff. I need to make a mess. I need to ruin something. So make sure that, you know, make sure your practice isn't too clean. You gotta destroy something. That's what these are for, right? It's to break stuff. Another thing is, you know, dry firing. What? I'm working the bolt and I'm pulling the trigger and making sure my shot breaks clean, and I'm not, you know, doing something weird. I'm not anticipating the shot or yanking the trigger, and all that repetition, that builds habits. You know, now I know what to expect, and I know what I should be doing, and, well, habits like that are just boring. I want to show up to a match and I want it to be exciting. I want to be a little bit, you know, mystified when that trigger's going to break, and, you know, where my barrel's pointing, and I want to kick the excitement up a little bit. Let's not be predictable. Let's stir it up. I don't want to be familiar. Let's keep it exciting. And, you know, guys just busy these days. There's just a lot of stuff going on. There is no way I can crank out 5 minutes of my day just to, you know, meander down to the basement and pull the gun out and dry fire a dozen times. That's 5 minutes of my life I'm not getting back. And, you know, I could be on the old YouTubes, just like you guys are doing, and, you know, I could be doing something else with my time. Just can't make the time. So don't waste your time. There's not enough of it in your life anyhow, so, you know, don't waste it building up good habits and doing something that's gonna maybe make you a little better. Don't worry about it. And number 10, I think, according to my list. Yep, number 10. This is the big one, and this is the one I want you guys to pay attention to. If you dry fire, that's giving you an advantage over me, and I don't like that. I need all the advantages that I can get and all the excuses I need. And if you're practicing and you're making good habits, I don't like that, because you're probably going to beat me. So don't be doing that. I don't like that. So there's my 10 really, well, obviously super sarcastic reasons why you shouldn't be dry firing. And if you paid attention, or if you didn't pay attention, if you've been in the competition community at all, you know you really should be. The best thing to do would be practice, get out and actually run rounds through there, but we can't do that all the time we want. Dry fire. Dry fire, dry fire. Do it a lot, you know? If you're worried about breaking something, get the old snap caps. These are machines. These are tools. These are competition rigs. Things break, right? It's fine. Get a hold of the manufacturer. They'll fix you up. It may cost you just a couple of bucks, but who cares? You know, you're getting better, and that's what dry firing's all about. But I did want to add a couple of qualifiers on here, just, you know, just to be serious for a second, if we could. You ready? All right, I've calmed down enough. I can be serious. Big thing here, folks. Be safe. Double, triple, quadruple check. Make sure your gun is empty. Put all the loaded rounds away. Put all your magazines away, except for, you know, if you have one loaded up with snap caps, unload that bad boy and make sure there's nothing hiding down in there. Put everything away. Make sure you are safe. Nobody wants to send a round into the wall or basement, or even worse, you know, out the wall into your neighbor's house. Be careful. And when you're done dry firing, put the rig away empty, you know, because you never know if you're going to meander back down and try it a couple more times. And you sure don't want to have a loaded round in there, you know, if you change your mind that you're actually done. So don't do that. And I don't know anybody that keeps their competition rigs, you know, loaded up. Probably shouldn't do that, but, you know, this applies to anything, right? Maybe your carry gun, whatever. Be careful. Double check. And then the other thing is, this goes back to the old number one point. If you have an old, antique, collectible, whatever, heirloom gun, you know, one that's kind of a safe queen that, you know, great grandpa gave you, brought on the boat over from Europe, whatever, maybe don't dry fire it, because, you know, you actually can damage old guns doing that. Newer ones, not so much of a problem. Old ones, materials weren't so great. They didn't have some of the features built in. You might damage it. So if it's not your competition rig, it's not something you're, you know, using a lot, maybe dry firing isn't for that particular firearm. Probably won't hurt it a time or two, but, you know, if there's something that really is priceless, I wouldn't risk it. So, you know, there's your top 10 this week, and a couple of bonus actual serious points in there. So I certainly appreciate all you guys that are watching this. I even really appreciate the guys that, you know, comment and even subscribe, because that's kind of encouraging. If you don't want to do any of that stuff, that's fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But I do like interacting with you guys, so thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If there's anything else you want to know about, I'd like to hear. If you have 10 good reasons why you shouldn't dry fire, or even, you know, one or two, I want to hear about them too. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Stay safe. Get some practice in. That's good.